Wealthy women do not invest the way you think they do. You probably imagine stock tickers, late nights analyzing markets, risky bets on the next big thing. That is not what they do. The richest women on the planet invest in the most boring way imaginable, and that is exactly why it works. What they know, that you were never taught, has nothing to do with being smart. It has everything to do with a system you can copy, starting today, with less than you spend on coffee. You have been sold a lie about investing. The lie says investing is for people who are already wealthy, people who understand complicated charts, people who have extra money lying around. But here is what the data actually shows. According to a 2023 Fidelity report, women who invest consistently outperform men by an average of 0.4% per year. That might sound small. Over 30 years, that gap turns into tens of thousands of dollars. And the reason women outperform is not because they pick better stocks. It is because they trade less often. They do not panic. They do not chase trends. They set up a plan and they leave it alone. The financial industry does not want you to know that, because if you knew the best strategy was boring and automatic, you would not need their expensive advisors. You would not need their premium trading platforms. You would not need them at all. That is why they keep investing, looking complicated. It keeps you dependent, and it keeps them paid. So what do wealthy women actually do with their money? They use something called automatic index investing. Let me break that down in plain English. An index fund is a basket. Instead of picking one company and hoping it goes up, you buy a tiny piece of hundreds of companies at once. If one company fails, it barely matters, because the other 499 are still working for you. Now the automatic part. You set up a transfer from your checking account. Every paycheck, the same amount moves into your investment account. You do not think about it. You do not decide each time. It just happens. This is called dollar cost averaging. You are buying a little bit every single pay period, regardless of what the market is doing. When the market drops, your money buys more shares at a lower price. When the market rises, the shares you already own go up in value. Over time, this smooths out every dip and every crash. You do not need to know when to buy. You do not need to time anything. The Fidelity study found something incredible. Their highest performing accounts belonged to investors who had either died or forgotten they had accounts at all. That is how powerful it is to stop touching your investments. The secret is not brilliance. It is patience. It is boring, repetitive, automatic patience. And it is available to you right now. Now let me show you the real numbers, because this is where it gets uncomfortable and powerful. Imagine you start investing $200 a month at age 25. That is about $6.50 a day, less than a lunch combo. You put it into a basic index fund that earns an average of 8% per year. That 8% is the historical average of the stock market over the last 90 years. It is not a guess. It is math. At age 30, you have invested $12,000 of your own money, but your account shows roughly $14,700. That extra $2,700, you did nothing to earn it. Your money earned it for you. At age 35, you have put in $24,000, but your account shows $35,500, more than $11,000 in free growth. At age 40, you have contributed $36,000. Your account reads $70,300, almost double what you put in. At age 50, your contributions total $60,000. Your balance, $175,700. You have earned $115,000 in pure growth. Money making money, making more money. At age 60, you have invested $84,000 total. Your account balance, $352,000. Now here is where it hurts. Imagine a second version of you. Same income, same job, same $200 a month, but she waits until age 35 to start. That is only 10 years later. At age 60, she has $149,000. Not bad. But you have $352,000. The gap is $203,000. That is not a small difference. That is a house. That is retirement on your terms. That is freedom your children inherit. And the only difference is when you started. Not how much you earned, not how much you knew when you started. Every year you wait costs you roughly $20,000 in future wealth you will never get back. That number is real. That number is your number, and nobody is going to tell you this except a video like this one. Now you need to understand why nobody taught you this. The financial industry makes money when you do things, when you trade, when you switch funds, when you panic and sell, when you buy the next hot recommendation. Every single transaction generates a fee. According to Morningstar, the average actively managed fund charges about 0.66% in annual fees. An index fund charges around 0.4%. That difference sounds tiny, but on a $200,000 balance over 20 years, the expensive fund takes roughly $55,000 from you in fees. The cheap index fund takes about $3,300. That is a $51,700 gap just in fees. And here is the worst part. 90% of actively managed funds fail to beat the basic index over a 15-year period. According to the S&P SPIVA report, 9 out of 10 professional money managers, the ones charging you premium fees, lose to the boring automatic strategy. The entire industry is designed to make you feel like you need them. Financial media runs on fear. Headlines scream about crashes and corrections. That fear drives you to act. And every action you take, someone collects a fee. Wealthy women figured this out. They stopped playing the game. They automated. They diversified into broad index funds. They stopped watching the news about their money, and their wealth grew quietly in the background while they lived their lives. Now, the biggest objection you probably have right now, you are thinking, I do not have $200 a month. I am barely covering my bills. I hear you. And I am not going to pretend your situation is not real, but here is what the data says. According to a 2022 Bureau of Labor Statistics report, the average American woman spends $315 per month on dining out and takeout alone. You do not have to cut all of it, but if you redirected even $100 of that, just half, you are investing. That is the starting line. And $100 a month at 8% for 30 years grows to $149,000. That is not nothing. That is life-changing money from the cost of 2 dinners out per week. So here is your 3-step plan. Step 1. Open a brokerage account with any major provider that offers zero-fee index funds. This takes 15 minutes. You need your phone and your social security number. That is it. Step 2, set up an automatic transfer. Pick a number you can handle. $50, $100, $200, whatever does not break you. Set it to transfer the day after payday, before you can spend it. Step 3, choose one broad index fund. Look for one that tracks the total stock market or the 500 largest companies. The fee should be under 0.10%. Then do the hardest part of all. Leave it alone. Do not check it every day. Do not panic when it drops 5%. The market has recovered from every single crash in history. Your only job is to keep going. 2 women, both 28 years old, both earning $55,000 a year. Same city, same rent, same bills. Person A hears about investing. She thinks about it. She tells herself she will start next year when she earns more. Next year becomes the year after. Then 5 years pass, then 10. She keeps her savings in a regular checking account. At age 58, after 30 years of working, she has $22,000 saved, enough for maybe 6 months of expenses. No growth, no compound interest, just what she managed to set aside. Person B hears the same advice at the same time. She opens an account that week. She sets up $150 a month on automatic. She picks one index fund. She does not check it obsessively. Some months are tight and she drops to $100. Some months she bumps it to $200. But she never stops completely. At age 58, Person B has $223,000. Same salary as Person A. Same bills, same life. But Person B has 10 times more money. And here is what changes everything. Person B is not stressed about retirement. She is not wondering how she will afford to stop working. She has options. She has freedom. She has a cushion her children can build on. Person A is still working, not because she wants to, but because she has to. The difference was never income. The difference was never intelligence. The difference was one decision, made 30 years ago, on a random Tuesday. To start. This is not your fault. Nobody taught you this, not your parents, not your school, not the system that profits from your confusion. But starting today, you know. And knowing changes everything. You are not someone who watches from the sidelines anymore. You are someone who builds quietly, automatically. While the world sleeps, your money works. Subscribe to She Starts Today. Because once you see this, you cannot unsee it.